Hello. So after yesterday's exit ticket, it was pretty clear that the content that was in the Lesson 12 lesson plan was only a small portion of what was actually on the homework problems and the practice problems. So I wanted to make another video for Lesson 12 to cover the practice problems that needed to be addressed. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of extra practice just for Lesson 12. Our objective today is going to be that we're going to apply the distributive property using the 9 multiplication facts. The previous Lesson 12 used the 9 equals 10 take away 1, and we will touch on that briefly, but I noticed we had some other issues when I taught this, so I'm going to re-teach it or add to it essentially. Okay, let's get a pencil. Okay, now, when we did this in class, we had blocks. Okay, so let's have blocks again. I want to find out what 6 times 9 is. But I only have 5 white blocks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need to use the eraser. Okay, I only have 5 white blocks. So but I have 1 red block. Okay, I know that 5 plus 1 is 6. So I know I have 6 blocks, but each one of these blocks is worth 9. This gets to be 9, 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 and this will give me 6 groups of 9, or 6 blocks of 9, right? Okay, now how do I write that? Well, I can't just write 6 if this is my picture. I need to write what this is, so I'm going to write 6 another way. I'm going to write it as 5 white blocks plus 1 red block, okay? So, here's my 5 white blocks, here's my 1 red block, and 5 plus 1 is 6. I just rewrote 6 another way, but they're all blocks of 9. So I'm going to multiply it by 9 because I have blocks of 9. Okay, now let's see if we can figure this out. Now, the distributive property is like giving away cookies. If I have a big bag of cookies and I distribute them among my friends, I'm going to give everybody a cookie from my bag. Okay, well, here's our friends. Here's our friends. Here's our bag. Everybody needs a cookie. Everybody needs a 9. Okay, so I'm going to give a 9 to the 5. I'm going to give a 9 to the 1. I'm going to distribute them. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this to show that I distributed my cookies, or my 9s. Now, 5 times, because it's all times 9, we always times it. We're going to do 5 times 9 plus, so my 5 times 9 plus my 1 times 9. Since I gave the 9 to the 1, I distributed my cookies. Okay, or I distributed my 9s. 5 times 9 is 45 plus 1 times 9 is 9. Now, yesterday on your lesson 13, you saw that you could use some patterns and some tricks to add this up. Let's use one of those tricks. We're going to add like this is a 10. So 45 plus 10 is really 55, but it's not a 10, it's a 1. It's 1 less, so it's really 54. So 45 plus 9 is 54. What is 6 times 9? 6 times 9 is 54. Now you may already know that 6 times 9 is 54, especially if you have your math facts memorized. But this is a way to show it using the distributive property and when we took apart the 6's. Let's do it another time. One more time here. Only this time, let's do 8 times 9. Okay, let's find out what it is. Now this time I have 5 white blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each one of them is a 9. Because all my blocks are worth 9. Maybe they're worth 9 points. Alright, but that doesn't equal 8. That only equals 5. So I need 3 red blocks. Here's my red blocks. And each one is worth 9. Okay? Because all my blocks are worth 9 points. Let's find out how many points we have. Now, I can't just write 8 times 9 because that's not what my blocks are. My blocks are 5 plus 3, and they are all groups of 9. So we multiply by 9. Now, using the distributive property, we have to give a 9 to each one of them, and we need to multiply it. Okay, so the 5 gets a times 9, put in parentheses so we can see it, plus the 3 gets a 9, and then we multiply. 5 times 9 is 45. 3 times 9 is 27. 27. Okay, now we add it up. Alright, 45 plus 27 plus 5 times 7 is 12. 1 times 4 is 5 plus 2 is 7. That would equal 72. 8 times 9 is 72. Even if we knew what 8 times 9 was, we showed how to do it using the distributive property, and we took the 8 apart. Now I want to remind you of how to do the 10 take away 1. Okay? We know that 9 equals 10 take away 1. Right? Now before we were adding up to 8, or we were adding up to something. Well, this time you can do the distributive property even by subtracting. So let's find out what 9 times 7 is, and let's use this. Okay? Now wherever there is a 9, I can rewrite it as this, right? So this would be like if I had 10 white blocks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 white blocks. Okay, and I take 1 away. But each one of my blocks is worth, not 9 now, what is each one of my blocks worth? Each one of my blocks is worth 7. Okay. I'm going to put 7 each one. Now, but this is 10 blocks. I don't have 10 blocks. I want to find out what 9 blocks was, so I take away 1. Well, that's what I did right here. That's what I'm saying. I can take away 1, and that means I have 9. Right? Well, that's so easy. We learned that in kindergarten. Okay, but now let's use what we learned in kindergarten and bring it up to a 3rd grade level and put it into our distributive property. So we have now, instead of a 9, I'm going to write a 10 minus 1, or 10 take away 1. And what will I be multiplying it by? What is my blocks all worth? 7. They're worth 7. Maybe they're worth 7 points. Points are fun. All right. Now we want to find out what it is. So now, this is the distributive property. We have to give it to each one, right? We're going to give each one a cookie, only this time the cookies are 7s. Okay, so I'm going to do 10 times 7, and then I have to do take away. See the take away here? This time it's take away. Before it was a plus because of what was inside the parenthesis. Now I gave the 7 to the 10. Now I need to give the 7 to the 1. Okay, now we have 1 times 7. Okay, now let's find out what it equals. 10 times 7 is 70. Take away a 7. Okay, now, let's do it. I need to regroup. 3. So, 70 take away 7 is 63, which means that 9 times 7 is 63. And if you knew your math facts and you knew your 9s, you would know that that is correct. Okay? We'll do one more of these, and now I'm going to set you to work. Okay? Okay, now this time let's do 9 times 5. Now we already know that 9 times 5 is 45, but let's use the 9 equals 10 take away 1. Okay, let's use this. We already know the answer. Let's see if we get the same answer. Okay, so that would be like if I had blocks. I wonder how many blocks I have here. I need 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 blocks. But they're not 10 blocks of 9 this time. They're 10 blocks of 5. So each block is worth 5. But I'm doing the 10 take away 1 because that equals 9. This is 10 blocks. I need 9 blocks, so I'm going to take away a block. Okay, so now let's rewrite it. This is really 9 blocks, but I'm going to say it's 10 take away 1 blocks because that's what my picture shows. So it's 10 take away 1, and each block is worth 5. Okay, the distributive property says you have to give one to each person or give one to each number. Right? So my cookies are 5 this time. I'm going to give it to the 10. 10 times 5. And then will I be adding or subtracting? I'm going to subtract because it's right here. I'm going to subtract. Now I gave it to the 10. Now I need to give it to the 1. Okay? Now what do I have? 10 times 5 is 50. Take away. 1 times 5 is 5. Count backwards by 5s. 50, 45. We got 45. We already knew it was 45, but this time we showed it. We showed it with a picture. We showed it using the distributive property, didn't we? And we showed it using the 10 take away 1 fact. Okay, now I want you to go back and do your extra practice problems that I made for you. Have a good afternoon.